go. Okay, cool. Now we're recording. All right. We're gonna send one last message. Another out. So I was just gonna ask you. So if you could each just kind of share a little bit about yourselves to like introduce yourself to Marysol. Marysol, do you want to introduce yourself first or after they introduce themselves? What would you prefer?
I'll go after.
Okay, cool. Um, and of course, when people drop, well, so we expect that there may be people who drop in. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, so who would like to go first? And of course, when whoever goes first, if you could just pass it on to somebody else, just be like, okay, we're finished, and then this person goes.
Clarivel, what would you like us to share? Like our name?
Your name, definitely your names. If you would like to share your pronouns, if that's, what would you, what would you like them to share? Actually, Marisol, what would be good for you?
Okay, so what you do in your what as a superhero? What do you do as your superhero after work, and what do you do for work? And something you're passionate about.
Superhero qualities and something you're passionate about. Nice.
And of course, and also where are you located? Because I'm in Jersey City.
All right. I guess I'll start. My name is Melly Mel. Everyone calls me Mel, but I go by Melly Mel. And I consider myself a creative artist, graphic designer. So that's my superpower. Something I'm passionate about is women empowerment and empowering others. And what was the last thing? I've
Where are
already
you
forgot.
located? Where are you
Oh,
teaching
yes.
geography?
I'm located in Valley Stream, Long Island. And I will pass the mic to Merland.
Hello, Marysol. Hello, everyone. My name is Merland. She, her, hers pronoun. I live in Boston. My superpower, I would say, is as an educator. I'm passionate about uplifting Black and Brown young people, people of color. How do we use the system, to support and move us forward, not against us. So that's what I'm passionate about.
And you're in Boston right now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Been here for a long time. I consider myself a storyteller, mostly using and working in the nonfiction space as a storyteller. And I'm passionate about telling Black and Brown stories for Black and Brown communities, with that at the center of the intention and purpose of everything I do. Yeah, I guess that's it, right? I think you were talking, when you said, what do you do when you're not working? And I'm like, I think I'm always working. It's like, what am I not doing when I'm not working? It's like this sort of blending, especially in this pandemic time. It's like everything is all kind of one, kind of mush. So, yeah, but thank you for coming. And I'm excited to hear more from you.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
And then I'll pass it on to Claribel.
Thank you, Michelle. So you're funny. We were like, yeah, that's how it feels. Like there is nothing else that we're doing. This is our constant, or it feels like it's a constant thing. Literally have to remind ourselves to be like, no, you actually deserve to take time off so you could stop working. And superhuman power. being present. That's our power, being present. And so yeah, and the only other thing that we do outside of what we're doing with Dominicans Love Haitians movement is developing our writing, developing our writing. That's what we're working on, developing our writing. So yeah, so now we pass it on to Marysol.
Yay! Well, my name is Marysol Silveira, and my pronouns are she and hers. I am in Jersey City, New Jersey right now, and my superpower, gosh, well, empowering others through arts, media, and education. I'm so happy to be with you all. Thank you for taking the time today. Thank you for being here. Like I thought about earlier today, the fact that it's daylight savings, right? So we technically gained an hour, quote unquote. It's the first of the month. It's a new month. It's a new season, I think, again now with Halloween being behind us, I guess, for those who observe. Election day's coming up, election week. We're in the middle of a pandemic. There's a retrograde happening, if you follow that. And I know it's a lot. So just for you to gather today and give me your attention and your time and get on another Zoom or another virtual meeting, because I'm sure you all have a lot of that as well. So my hope and my intention for today is that I could leave you with something new, get you inspired about the work that you're doing with Dominican Love Haitians movement. I want to thank Claribel for the invitation. Today came out of a conversation that she and I had over the phone discussing my fundraising experience on air radio in New York. So I worked at WBAI 99.5 FM for several years. And I also have an ongoing partnership at WFDU 89.1 FM in New York. So a lot of fundraising because they are listener supported non-commercial radio stations. And yeah, we started talking about the work that I've done there and the events that we've put on, all in the spirit of raising money for these two radio stations. So I hope that my experience and what I can share with you gives you something to take into the work that you're doing together for Dominicans Love Haitians. Claribel, do you want to say anything before I go into the next topic? You're on mute.
Well, I was like, Dincy joined us, but then she knocked out. So we were just gonna ask her to introduce herself. But
okay.
So yeah, are you okay when people drop in for them to introduce themselves?
How do you want to do it? I'm okay with whatever works for you all.
So we would prefer if once you're speaking, not to have to introduce people.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it. We welcome everybody, but we don't want to keep stopping you from
right.
your flow. Is really what the concern is. Like we don't want to be like, and as we see it, people should have been here at 3. And so there's a lot of chatter in our head about that. And we're gonna let that go so we could be here with you. Okay. And yeah, and that's it. So I just really thank you for, the conversation that we had, and then your willingness to be here with us to like share your, the time, everything that you had, were doing, the fundraising and, and also just allowing yourself, your humanity to come through, and also to supersede that humanity of being like, well, you can do it. Right. Which is so yeah, so we're excited for the conversation, because in listening to you, we could be like, yeah, Claribel, you can do it. you can do it too. You can do it. So yeah, so we're just excited for you to be here. I'm really grateful and thankful for everybody who is here. So
awesome. Okay, so I have taken some notes and I can share them with Claribel so she can share them with you. And I've also shared things like scripts that I've used for fund drives and emails that I've drafted asking people in my community to donate their time and talent towards a fund drive or a fundraising event. So kind of getting all that language out, written. I've shared that with Claribel as well. So I don't know where you all are. I have like a very little knowledge of where you all may be individually in the work that you do. So just, I ask for your grace with me. If you have a lot of fundraising experience, I'm here to share. And I think where this came from was that I had no training when I got into what I was doing on air. And I was thrown into it, and then I learned along the way. So I think the conversation that Claribel had was more like, you can do it because, hey, I got into it, no training, and I just did it. And I had nerves, I was worried, scared, and all my past or whatever, my present, my baggage about fund drives and asking for money and asking for people to donate time and talent, I had to deal with that ongoingly. And then I got to a place that, yeah, this is what we do. This is what we need to do. So let's do it. So I want to share that with you all, hoping that it'll give you something. My experience at WFDU and WBAI consisted of radio shows around Latin music. So at WFDU it has been primarily music, but we do a yearly fund drive that lasts 4 weeks. So we're on air pitching for 4 to 5 hours once a week over the span of a month. So I guess you could say 4 weeks of, and in that, since I've been there since 2012, we've raised year over year about anywhere between $18,000 to $25,000 in that cycle. So that's what we were doing at WFDU. That's once a year. WBI was a different animal because we're always fund drive mode. I don't know if any of you listen to the station, but we have a lot of great stuff going on as far as music, culture, social justice, and just giving people the information that they want to hear that they're not getting from corporate media. And the fund drives were probably anywhere from 180 to 200 days out of the year. So that was a lot of pitching, a lot of asking people for money. So I guess that's where I got my training from, that it was constantly happening. So that consisted of on-air pitching, doing fund drives. It was seasonal. So we're talking like anywhere from a week to 3 weeks to a month, holding events. And I'll share with you a few of the events that we produced while we were there. And also offering premiums. So premiums or gifts in exchange for people to give money. Okay, so I'm going to touch a little bit on that. And then we can, if you have any questions, we can speak at, right near the tail end and go over any specific questions that you have about anything I may have talked about. So when speaking about raising money and asking people for money, my source or where I begin is, what is my purpose here? So for you all, for all of us, why am I here working with Dominicans Love Haitians movement? Why am I giving my time, my energy, resources to DLH, if that's okay that if I use that short term?
You can shorten it to DR Loves Haiti.
I'll do that. DR Loves Haiti. Why is this work important to me? How does it tie into my personal purpose? And why is it important to ask those questions is, if you don't have that clear for yourself, asking people to donate to that cause is going to be super difficult. When you can get that clear for yourself, you put that to the side, and it allows you to have a conversation with the person and ask them for money or resources or services or whatever it is that you're asking for. And FYI, your time is money. So you're already giving, right? If you're giving your time and you also financially support DR Loves Haiti, it's important to share that with the person or the organization that you're asking to now support you financially. So I'll give you an example. Not only do I believe in this cause, but I give my time as well as my money to it. Here's an example. Okay. To be successful in having that conversation, you want to tell a story. I know that, this is probably something that you're all doing every single day in your work. Making that connection with that person. We as people, we love stories. We want to get connected to that person. And that's where that willingness to part with a resource such as money or anything else is going to happen. Talk about the mission of DR Loves Haiti, about how you're dealing with the issues that we're facing via DR Loves Haiti, and talk about the communities you are reaching and the people who are on board or have already partnered with DR Loves Haiti. So purpose. Why am I here? Why am I giving my time and resources? Because that's going to open up why they should now support you. One of the things I learned right away when I was pitching and when I was asking people to donate is being specific. And I have another section about being specific. Using powerful words, using language. And again, we're going to get into that next. So understand with DR Loves Haiti, you probably are constantly in donor mode. Clariva, can you share, is most of the money that's coming into DR Loves Haiti from donors, or do you have any community sponsorships or governmental grants or anything like that?
Currently, we don't have any governmental grants because we're just finishing with our 501c3 paperwork, although
Okay.
we are fiscally sponsored. Oh, actually, that's a lie. We did have something, but because of the COVID thing, it got stopped.
Okay. So right
Yeah.
now, I can say that you're 100% donor supported.
But totally don't. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a line that I would use. That's like a statement that I would say with conviction that we are 100% donor supported by people like you. And that's something that I use in radio. We are 100% listener supported. You are that person that I'm speaking to. You are that person that we need to support us. It makes it very clear. It places responsibility in the space. So again, understand that if you are mostly donor supported as you are always in fundraising mode and looking to give people the opportunity to join you in this great work. So you see that the use of language, you're giving people an opportunity to join you because you're already giving your time and your resource and your talent and your money to DR Loves Haiti. Not everyone can carve out the time. And this is something that came up in my conversation with Claribel. A lot of the people in your network and in your communities, your families, people that you would be inclined to ask or you would want to ask, they love what you're doing or they love the work that DR Loves Haiti is doing, but they don't have the time or they don't see that they have that time to give to the cause. So what can they give instead? They can give their money, they can give their resources, they can give their talent. If they can give you the money so that the work gets done, you are giving them an opportunity. So again, this is gonna come with a lot of practice and really getting clear for yourself why you're even doing this work. So when you're clear in that, the space opens up for you to be able to ask for another person or an institution or organization to cooperate, to do that as well. I know we have conversations about finances. We all have different conversations about it. We can have a whole, week of Zooms just talking about what our relationship is to money and finance and whatever our inherited conversation is about money, whatever the community conversation is about money, the conversation that maybe the organizations that you're looking into supporting you are having. And hello, we're in a pandemic, so everybody's facing like new conversations around.
No estamos hablando. Entonces,
Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next, my next set of notes, but just keep that in mind. If there's anything there you wanna ask me, just jot it down. And these notes are gonna be shared with you. So next I wanna talk about knowing your audience. Do you have an idea of why it would be important for this person to donate their dollars to the cause of DR Loves Haiti or to DR Loves Haiti? How is DR Loves Haiti relevant and impactful to this person? And this is something that you might already know without even talking to that person. Oh, I'm gonna ask Willie because he's a musician and this is important to him, that the arts and culture, the music keeps going. So I'm just gonna have that conversation. Or you might have to have a question, find out, okay, maybe I need to do a little research into this person or to this organization and make that connection on my own without making an assumption. You still have to have the conversation with them. But it really is important to know your audience. How is your organization relevant and impactful to this person? Why should they care? Why should they give money? Find out so that you can connect that to your ask. I know that this work is important to you. If you are enjoying this live stream that we're doing right now, support us financially. One thing that I wanted to talk about too with supporting, so the language, support us. So in what I was doing with radio, by people listening in, they were supporting, but then there's no financial support. So I had to make that differentiation and be grateful for their listening, and be grateful that they tuned in, and be grateful that they, out of those 24 hours, they decided to spend 3 hours with me. I'm absolutely grateful for that. And I'm asking for your financial support. So being very clear that what you're asking for is financial support, because the word support could mean many things. And sometimes the person's like, well, me just having this conversation is me supporting you. No, I'm actually asking for your financial support. I'm asking for your dollars. What is DR Loves Haiti? I'm gonna shift now again. So we can find DR Loves Haiti on the web. There's a website, yes. Social media accounts that are active. I know that there's written and printed material that's available digitally. There's pictures, videos, testimonies that can be shared with present and future donors. Those are all your tools to share with someone that you're asking to financially support. And I leave it up to you as the organization to decide how you're going to do that. So that's going to take planning and our strategy and our campaigns. What are our campaigns and what did they look like? Because then you can attach your ask to those kind of things. If you're doing a campaign for a school, you'll know that by this date, that event is going to happen. So you attach your ask to that. So you strategize the ask and how many times you will ask to that. So I'll leave that to you as far as the planning, but that's why it's important to get information like this, like when our events are, what are we about? How can I find the website? How can I find the links to social media and have all those things ready? Because again, you can take that information, put it to the side, and then have the conversation. Being prepared is really, really important, as we all know. Having all that available to you and readily available to share is just going to give you such a relief as far as being able to have a conversation with somebody. Because if you're worried about, well, let me get this link and oh, I thought I had it, or let me get you this information, or I'll get back to you. If you have all that stuff at hand, then you're golden. So really just be one-to-one with a person and have a conversation about them financially supporting you. I know that DR Loves Haiti shares through newsletter, correct? Is that weekly, monthly?
Well, yeah, we're attempting to keep it at a weekly or even twice a week, depending on what's happening.
Okay.
But definitely we starting to have it be weekly.
Okay, cool.
Question about that. How many people are on that newsletter? How many people does it go to?
1,085 people.
Awesome. So sharing raises DR Loves Haiti's profile. If there's tweet, you hear me? If there's tweets going on, to retweet that, using hashtags. These are all tools that I use to spread the word for WBAI and WFDU. Connecting all those people that have come to events also, whether it's via email. I mean, we've even done phone drives. I don't know what the capability is for you all to do that, but that also helps if you're leading up to something like a Giving Tuesday or Cyber Monday or a holiday or International Women's Day. This could go into your weekly newsletter as well. All that information. All right, I'm going to shift again. Be able to deliver a quick and clear explanation of the mission. So what is the mission of DR Loves Haiti? That's something for you to know if you don't know it. And that could be really extensive, you know, that could be a lot of information. So you have to find a way to whittle it down to a few sentences and be able to share that with someone. My show that I had at WBAI was centered around music and issues of the Latino community. And sharing music and culture coming out of Cuba despite the US embargo.
Excuse me,
When
was
I
that that Saturday night? Was it the Saturday afternoon show or the Sunday afternoon show? Was it
Sunday
that one?
afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, I love that show. Sorry.
Awesome. Great.
I love that show
Yeah.
when I could catch it. Yeah, it was
It's still,
great.
yeah, it's still going on. Yeah, every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. on WBAI. And also Saturdays from 4 to 6, there's also a Latin roots show. So it's a different host, but we're doing similar work. Awesome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yay. Love that show. So sharing that and attaching that to my ask with listeners and really being repetitive about it. So how do you get good at asking? Repetitiveness, having a script readily available. It's going to become like super easy. Practice really does make perfect with asking and connecting that to what you know that that person cares about, basically. So what I was doing every week was giving music, issues, events. Do you want this to continue? Okay, so then we need you to financially support us right now. So be able to deliver a quick, clear explanation of the DR Loves Haiti mission. Not readily knowing this might stop you from even asking, oh my God, what am I gonna say, right? Having this information at hand and later internalizing it over time, that comes with practice. That's gonna have you speaking with conviction and comfort, which is gonna allow you to act powerfully, because if all those things aren't in place for you, it could create a problem for you. It could. I mean, maybe over time you're going to get better at asking, because it's like, okay, I don't feel well. I have a headache. This just happened, but I know I got to do this. That comes with repetitiveness. That comes with doing it over and over. Be prepared to convey a real planned narrative on why it is crucial that they support DR Loves Haiti financially. And again, a script is, it could take, it could be a one pager, and it doesn't have to be an actual script like, hi, this is Marysol, I'm calling, or hi, this is, you know, it's me. Listen, this is what we're doing. No, you can actually just put bullet points and have the conversation be very natural about what it is that you want from that person. So you're asking somebody to support you financially. What's the logical question? So, well, what do you have to offer? So what do we have to offer? What does DR Love Haiti have to offer? It's an opportunity for the donor to financially support you, which is representative of their personal values and mission. One of the things I used to say a lot on the Airbnb was, if this is important to you, there's no one doing this work in this way right now. Do you want to hear this every week or every other week? And how do you translate to DR Loves Haiti? Well, this is the work that we're doing. These are the events that we've had. This is our yearly gala. This is our quarterly community service initiative. Do you want that to continue? Then we need you to financially support us. You can provide a members only newsletter. I think that's what you already have, that what's going out weekly, commemorative items. I know that that takes money. So this is where you're gonna have to find people that can, either a business that can donate that, like t-shirts. I know that you already have t-shirts. I have one. I love my t-shirt. Also giving them access to events or partnering vendor discounts. These are all things that we use to not only ask, but repeatedly ask people to financially support us. So you can ask your community partners to donate premiums or gifts, thank you gifts. For example, restaurants, salons, travel agencies, bakeries, wineries, or services like massages, resume cover letter. Like I have a sorority sister who does that and has donated that. I also have a sorority sister that is a personal stylist. So she would donate sessions. Artists who do portraits or art, DJ services. I also DJ, so that's something that I've donated as well. The DJing for an event, like how much would you pay for a DJ? Okay, I will donate my services for this in kind. DR Loves Haiti. Right now, during the pandemic, things like downloads and ebooks, those things are working because we had concerns with mailing out premiums to people and making it easier for people to get access to those gifts or premiums without having to wait for them. They get them instantly. So these are just some ideas that I wanted to share with you as far as what can you offer. You want to consider novel ways, new ways of providing thank you gifts, or even a thank you package. All right, I'm gonna shift now again. Let's talk about the ask, which is what the topic of this today's meet is. Find out what makes you say yes. So when you are being approached to donate your time, your talent, your resources, or your money, what is it that makes you say yes? This is something for you all to think about. Why do others around you say yes? Maybe you can have conversations with friends, relatives. What makes them say yes? Why do we donate to certain causes and not others? This is important to get clear for yourself. I had a conversation with my significant other about giving money, and I asked him what causes him to give his money, because he's not going to give to every cause. And his answer was that the cause, quote unquote, is why he gives. And he also wants to know what he will get in return. So yes, those people that you're asking to give their money or their resources or their time and talent are going to want to know, hey, what's in it for me? Not always, but a good portion of the time, they're going to want to know that. I also asked him why he says no. And he said something interesting. He said, I want to know that my money is going to something positive. That what my giving my money and it being used is going to be used for something good. So if you, DR Loves Haiti, knows, well, this is the work that we're doing. This is the good work that we're doing. This is where your money's going to go to work like this. And this is what we did last year. You can share a list of events and initiatives and activities that you had that were successful. So in other words, it's important for him to know where and what those dollars were going to. And that's something for you to think about when you're developing a script. And you're probably going to have multiple ones. So in the case of WBAI, listeners were getting the programming, the music, and the issues on a consistent basis. And they were getting a need met. They were getting a need met. Cultural, social, community news, upcoming events. I would have musicians come on to present music and CDs or, upcoming concerts and things like that. So they knew what they were getting. You have to figure out what is our DR Loves Haiti supporter getting for their dollars. And it could just be them knowing that they are supporting an organization that is putting into action the cause, the issues that are important to them and that they see themselves in. I don't have the time, but I can give you my money. Or I don't have the money, but I can give you my talent. So when having these conversations, you want to be yourself, really be yourself. And when you have things laid out, written out, when you have the materials at your disposal, if you reviewed them before having the conversation, it's going to allow you to convey your love for DR Loves Haiti and the need for you to have the financial support of that person or organization. You're going to give them the action to take. Sometimes people they'll be willing to have the conversation with you. And they also want you to let them know what the action is to take. And for some people, it might be a place of discomfort. Well, I don't want to tell them what to do. But sometimes people just want you to say, okay, I'm willing to do this. What do I need to do? How do I do this? Like people just want you to guide them, and you have to be comfortable in doing that. You give them the action to take. Go online to www.dominicanslovehaiti.org or .com. You can go on via PayPal. I can send you the link now. You can have all those details written and ready so that you can be free to be yourself with that person. And I have more things in here in the notes that you'll see. It has ideas like virtual gifts that you can either get or create for people that are supporting DR Los Haiti now in the time of a pandemic. So basically the gist of this side of the conversation is to be prepared so that you can be you and share your personal story with DR Los Haiti. We had a few events, mostly live Latin music events at WBAI. So we would gather together, 4 orchestras, we're talking about 40 musicians to come together under one roof. We were having some of our events at SOBs in downtown. And we also did a collaborative fundraiser with I Like It Like That, which was an off-Broadway play that was on in New York City a few years back. And we were able to offer tickets to that play. And we kept a part of the earnings and the producers kept a part as well. But there was, that incentive to have people come out and see this play. And we were able to also raise some money for the station. So what are events? Events are a place and a space for supporters to gather. They also get to network there, right? They get to meet each other. People get to share what they're doing, to be entertained, and also to get something of value immediately in exchange for their dollars. This is one of the things that I was told when I got on air. It's like some of our listeners did not want to just give money. They wanted to basically purchase something. So they would purchase the ticket to the event and go to the event, and then they knew that where their money went. That's not always going to happen. You're going to have people that are going to give because they want to support. They want to give their money, their resources to the organization. Then you're going to have that percentage of your supporters that, well, I want to go to an event, or I want to go have fun and I'll give you my money. So the events were important because they did provide a place for that to happen. And like I said, they get something of value immediately in exchange for their dollars. So when you're getting people to donate their time and talent, so I heard in a lot of the intros, I'm thinking that most all of us have a talent and resources to offer. And I'm sure a lot of us have been invited to give those resources and that talent without getting paid for it. So that's like a sticking point sometimes when having a conversation, like, how do I ask somebody to donate their time and talent if you have an issue with it, right? Like, oh gosh, here I am, another person asking this artist to give without getting paid for it. So I had to get around that myself because I was going up to musicians and asking them, can you do this? Can you come play? Can you come perform? Not only am I asking them to give their time and talent, but I'm also asking them to spend their own money because they're going to have to get to the gig. They're going to have to, get an outfit or, pay the subway or gas and tolls. So all of that in consideration, right? Then not only are you asking these people to give their talent, but you're also asking them to spend a little money in the process. So it really is about just having a frank conversation. We're having this event on October 25th at SOBs, and we're going to be honoring this iconic musician. And we really want you to be a part of it. There is no budget. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is donating their time, including me. Is this something that you will want to be a part of? I wanted you to invite you to give you the opportunity to be a part of this with us, because of course we could only have so many people perform. We only have a 4-hour time slot. So I wanted to extend that invitation to you and let me know, is this something that you would want to do? So I'll tell you more, like, out of all the people that I asked, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it was a yes. And if it was a no, it was because the date didn't work for somebody. But I didn't get, I'm not going to do this because you're not going to pay me. It really is communicating to that person what it is that DR Loves Haiti is doing, what the night is going to look like, and that you want them to be a part of it. You thought of them to be a part of it. I would love to have you there. I have been asked to donate my time and talent in the past as a DJ, as an MC, as a moderator, and I haven't always said yes. And my no's have always come from a place of not knowing enough about the organization or the institution, or seeing something that was off for me. Like, okay, that's not organized. This doesn't seem to be clear to me, or, you know, maybe just like a feeling of distrust about it. So, but that's all on my end, right? Whatever I felt was on my end. It couldn't, maybe it wasn't necessarily based on the person that was asking, but if it was clear to me what the organization was doing or what they were needing, then I was a yes. And I think that's what I want to communicate to you today. It's really being clear about it. And you don't have to use a lot of words. It's really just communicating, saying this is what we need. And I would love to have you be a part of it. Refrain from using terms like free exposure. I'm sure you've all heard that. If you're doing any kind of art or anything like that, you've heard that. And it makes me cringe to even say it, to even share it with you. More powerful words like partnership, joining forces, being a part of this. I know that this is important to you, and that's why I'm asking you to be a part of this. And being really straight up that there is no budget if there's not one. And not making promises of future opportunities, because you don't know what the future looks like. Unless you can really guarantee that there's a future opportunity, don't feel like you have to do that in order to get the yes. Make sure that they know that everyone is donating their time and that you would love to have them be a part of this movement. DR Loves Haiti can offer live promotion on Facebook, Instagram Lives, and an interview in exchange for their donated time and talent. So there is a way for you to reciprocate right away. We're going to be doing this series, and we're going to have 3 interviews. We would love to have you do that. That is a way to support that artist or that musician or that author that you want them to donate books so that you can offer them for a premium. Okay, so we're at 3:47. Clariva, we're here till 4:15? Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes so that we're ending at 4 and then we could have questions, okay? And again, you'll get these notes. So some things I won't get to, but we talked a little bit about pandemic and how to get creative with that. I'll give you an example. With continued social distancing, tickets to virtual events are successful with people. I know in the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people were doing things for free. However, that has shifted now that we're in an extended time frame with we don't know when we're going to be able to gather. So I'll give you an example. Most venues will give you 10 free tickets to an event. And each ticket is $100, let's say, because you're making it it's for a fundraiser. That's going to bring in $1,000. There's going to be no mailing of premiums. You don't have to wait for them to arrive. It's a virtual event and it's immediate. And that's for those people who will support if they can attend something. They can get something immediately in return. I also have a section on sponsorship. So that's going to be part of the notes, and maybe as a collective, you can discuss that, like ways to gain sponsorship in a virtual environment. I'm going to shift now and talk about where does the money go? So that's the question I've gotten sometimes. So I'm going to give you this money. Where is it going to go? This is where knowing the previous year's accomplishments, activities, the funds that you raised, the people that you helped, the numbers of those people, and the percentages. That's important. And if you have like a one sheet of, well, this is the work that we did January to December of 2020. These are the amount of people that we served. Those things will help for some people who really need to see, like, give it to me in black and white. Be prepared to explain how the funds will be used, if they cover operational costs or production costs, or if they go entirely to the end cause or the beneficiaries, right? So let's say if you were doing something with a school or a community organization or anything like that. When I was on air, I would actually talk about where the money was going. Yes, you are part of your donation is going to help us keep the lights on. You're paying for the transmitter for the station. You're paying for our internet connection, you know, like that was the reality. So I was not afraid to share that if I needed to, because sometimes people do want to know, number one, if their money is going to cover some sort of operational cost, or if it's going to go directly to the cost without, you know, paying for anything like that. So what are we asking for? Be specific. What are you asking for? Share your goals, share deadlines. So show by show, like say, for example, if my goal for the show was $5,000 and I would break it down by hour, or I would break it down by half hour or 15 minutes. I need 10 people to call in with a $25 donation. This is where the script is important. Now, you're not going to be in the environment that you're going to be making these calls unless you do something like a phone drive. But being specific about the amounts. When you can tell somebody how much you need, it makes it easier for them to donate. As opposed to saying, can you donate to us? Can you financially support us? Say, no, can you give $50 or can you give $10? In my experience in radio, I've seen donations from $3 to $1,500, and that's individual. And letting those people know that, well, I can't really give. I'm not in a place right now to support you. I can't give you $50. Well, that's okay. Give any amount counts. It all adds up in the end. So share deadlines by when. This is when it's important. If you guys have activities coming up in events, like we want to raise this much by this date because we have this, like really know those pieces of information. This is where the script is important. Getting all of the details in front of you and being able to share those right away says a lot. You can give ways for donors to give. They could do cash, they could do check, credit card, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App on your website. You can also give ways for donors to become sustaining members, and then you attach benefits to that. So when I say sustaining member, I mean giving a little bit over a span of time per month. So for us, we did something called a buddy, BAI buddy, where we would have you donate whatever amount you wanted with the same amount every month for the span of a year. And that made you a member. You had a membership with us. So I saw donors giving $5 a month, $25 a month, $100 a month. So for those people who want to give but can't give a lot, that could be an option. And you might find those people that will give you $500 in one shot, or $1,000 or $5,000. And I would actually say that, like, $5, you can give $5, you can give $5. Hey, if you give $5,000, you solve my problem for the show. You know? And just really making it okay, because there are those conversations around money that people might feel, you know, I know that you need the money, but I can't give it to you. And that's okay. How much, how often? Again, be specific, be transparent. In my time fundraising, I received, like I said, anywhere from $3 to $1,500. You show gratitude for every amount. Knowing the end goal and how many people it will take to reach the goal is really important too. Having a giving schedule is important. And we spoke, I mentioned a little earlier, things like Cyber Monday or Giving Tuesday, or attaching fundraising to a specific day or specific season, or other dates of importance. I also just wanted to mention tax write-offs and company matching. That's something that we also saw on air, was people willing to not only donate, but have their company match their donation. I just wanted to throw that one in there. So you've had these conversations, you've let them know how much, how often, you've given them the action, the ways to do it. Follow up, that's so important. So you got that donation, great, you met your goal, right? As individuals, you all are going to be tapping into your networks, tapping into your resources, and having people donate. Great. Now what? So you have to be timely. Absolutely. When someone reaches out to you, be timely, whether it's a question, whether it's, you know, I donated, or, you know, whatever the communication is, just be timely. And obviously let people know as well, if you do have a schedule where you're doing this work, or well, these are the best times to reach me, that's good too, because not everybody likes to receive emails at 10 p.m. at night or 4 in the morning, you know, we all have our lives to live aside from what we're doing. But definitely be timely, meet your deadlines. If you said I'm gonna follow up with you by when, you know, try to stick to that as much as possible. No, don't try, stick to that, okay? Because it does make a difference, especially if you're gonna want that person to continue to support you financially. Be accessible for questions, concerns. You're gonna have people that wanna financially support and they're just gonna give you the money and that's it. Then you're gonna have people who wanna financially support, but they want more. They want more communication. So have that happen to the best of your ability. And of course, as a network, as a group, you're going to be talking about ways to share the load and be able to communicate to your donors and get them together and have them feel supported. But you will have people that are more needy than others. Have a calendar system to capture whatever it is that you're doing. If you're following up, if you are going to follow up, just get it off your plate. Like, try not to have it in your space, just get it into something, put it into your calendar, put it into your iPhone notes or whatever device, whatever it is that you use, you write it down. But whether it's via phone, Outlook, Google, so on and so forth. Set and know organization, team, and individual goals. Again, I'm starting to repeat myself, but this is all tied into each other. Each area that I'm talking about ties in. Provide a touch point after a fundraising cycle. If you have an event and it went the way it went, whether you were successful in meeting your goal or not, communicate that. Thank you for supporting us. This is how we made out. We appreciate you. Move on to the next thing. Give updates on fundraising outcomes. This is where the newsletter can come in handy as well. And I'm just going to close with tips to strengthen your ask. So the reason why we're having this conversation today is just really getting ourselves in a place where we can have those conversations. Sometimes it takes us writing out how we feel about finances, how we feel about where are we with our finances, how we are with just asking. Some of us have something about asking for anything. I'm one of those people. I'm a doer. Like, I'll do it. I'm not gonna bother you, you know. So it is about getting clear for yourself. Where are you with asking? Where are you with finances? So it could be for you a script, writing it out. Mirror work. That's something that's also helped me, like having those conversations. If you don't have somebody that you can role play with, watching yourself ask. We're all at different levels of this, so I'm just being mindful of that maybe a mirror work would help. Practice. It really does make a difference. Have buddies within your own system. At DR Loves Haiti, pair up with each other, help each other out. And then there's going to be a point. The great thing about this is that there's a point that you don't have to do this anymore. The only time you're going to have to do it again is just incorporate new information. You're going to get so good at asking and so good at this process that you're only going to have to get together to say, well, this is new. We have this event coming up, or no, we got, 10 vinyls and we want to, that's the only time that you're really going to have to refresh. And then obviously to talk about any pending issues that you are focusing on as an organization. Tie your ask to your purpose. Tie it to your purpose. Follow-ups do that, to give thanks, not just to ask, but to give thanks. Thank you for being part of the work that we do. And also to share good news about what you have done, the work that you've done with DR Loves Haiti. So, every communication is not going to be an ask, but in a way it is, because you're actually giving that person the information, the proof, this is what we do. This is the work that we do. Look at what you're supporting. So in a way it is like you're preparing them for the next opportunity for them to support you. I have on this sheet some statements that you'll be able to see, like, why do I have to give dollars? The answer to that would be, we are 100% donor supported. Why do I have to donate anyway? Oh, well, we are 100% donor supported. And we are also looking for organizations and grants. to support us as well. I want to give, but I can't give a lot. This is where any amount counts. What can you give? Resources, talent, time. And one of the things that I've used a lot, and I'll close with this when I've been on the air, is when you're listening to someone and they're presenting their cause or the plight, or this is why we need you. A thought might come into your head like, well, you know, I can't right now. It's not a good time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I have to wait, or someone else will do it. It really is having that person understand that they are that person. You are that person. So when doing your emails or your scripts, include that. You are that person. Make it be about you and that person. And with that, I'm going to end. We're at 4 o'clock, and I just wanted to open up to questions or any thoughts or anything that you want to contribute, because I'm sure you all have experience doing this already. So anything that like that. Anybody? Claribel, you want to share anything?
We were waiting to see if anybody else would.
Oh, okay.
It might take them a minute to get to their
Okay.
to their mic from where
Well,
they.
you know, I have for you, Claribel, I want to say we talked about a lot of things, and I don't know if I captured everything. So if there's anything that you know that I didn't talk about, let me know, because I can either include that. Okay.
You're very thorough, and even inside of being like, and there are some things that we are skipping over, so you're gonna get to review that later on. No, you're very, very thorough, and the again, how you were emphasizing that the ask is really important, and also the connecting to the purpose, like that you are connected to purpose, your purpose, and why you are why are you on the board? Like there was the reason you said yes to Clarived, right? There was something that Clarived said that had you be like in consideration and be like, can we, is this something that we would like to participate in, and what is that? And so that is something for you to like inside of when you were asking your partner why would you say yes, what are the things outside of, and so the asking people around you what does make you say yes to something or no. And we remember when we were asking people in the beginning when we first started, there was some we just are remembering laughing about some of the things that we would got no to, and at the end of the day, we're like, well, we're glad that you said no. For some people, it's like, it's a good thing that you said no. Like everything is divinely, everything. There's a reason why things and people enter into your space, right? As well as who are you? Like how you were saying the clearing. Like people may not understand like what that clearing is, but like if you're in a space of deficit, then you're not gonna want to ask people. Right, like how you were saying, if you have something around financial, around wealth, whatever it is, like those are things that could limit you. And we see it when we see that personally, right? Like we understand that there are many conversations that we won't have because we're like for instance, around artists, because our thing is like artists should be paid. However, if you see it like, listen, you're contributing, like it's a contribution to what you say is important to you, then of course that'll shift our mindset to be like, then of course there's no problem in asking, because they really know that we're not running around trying to take and not provide something back, right? It's if you are also giving to the community. You can't give in this way. You can't give it to the community in the way that we want to give, but you are by directly supporting us inside of contributing your art. Or whatever it is that you're contributing, as you said, because some people can't give time, but they can give money because they're like, we got $20, let's not, or $5, we don't have to buy that Starbucks. Michelle, did you want to say something? We're just checking in. Anybody would like to say something? And Michelle, do you have experience fundraising as well? I mean, yes, you've had to do many different things.
Not this kind of fundraising. Yeah, not this kind of fundraising. It's mostly like grants and proposal writing. It's more my area. mean, I've done, well, this is a question. Can you hear me? Or is
I
it,
can. Yeah.
is it delayed? Oh, okay.
No, we can hear you fine.
Delayed, but
Okay. Let me take my video off. Okay, maybe this is better. Is this better? Yeah, okay. So yeah, most of my experience is more in the grant writing. I have done some Kickstarter campaigns for specific projects. And I think part of the question I have, which is also is about the personality. Like sometimes raising the money or talking to people is more about the person you want to support than the cause, like the leader or the reason why. So that might be something that I would appeal to also. But I don't know how you feel about that. The idea that it's the person and their leadership and their you want to support their journey, Yeah.
Yeah,
I say that because in the Kickstarter, a lot of it was also about, your work. We want to support you being able to do and continue doing the work that you're doing because it was specifically around, one project, but it was about the project being part of a body of work, sort of, for the specific person. So anyway, sorry, that was one question.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of support from people just based on who I was or the connection that they felt to me personally. I did find that I did have a good chunk of supporters that were just like, we just want to help you, like you're asking and we care about you. And they would have given me it, whether I was asking for them to support the station or become a buddy, or, they really were doing that because of me. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah, you're definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't referring to me. I was referring to Claribel or to other people who are, yeah, I was more referring to, is that a pitch also?
Absolutely,
Not
it is.
but to like, you need to support this person for,
Yes. It's great that you asked that too, because I found myself, and everyone else can answer, like Claudia can answer too, but I found myself saying, if you want me to continue to do what I do every week, I need you to support me right now. So yes, using that, not using it, but having that be the platform, the where you stand and asking, yes, absolutely. I don't know, Claribel, if you found that you've used that and
not we don't think so, but maybe it's in the unsaid.
right. Well, I will tell you that I did this today because of you. Like, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do
Exactly.
I believe in the work that DR Loves Haiti is doing? Absolutely. And because you asked is why I'm here. That was like the priority number one, right? So yeah, that is happening.
So can I just jump in really quickly because I have like literally 5%. One, sorry for like being here late. I'm committed, but some things ran over. I will just say quickly, I do believe that that is one of the reasons why Claribel and this movement does get work, because I was introduced to the organization through the Black Doll Project, and Claribel's commitment to the mission resonated through Instagram. You know what I mean? And what are we now, like 2.5, almost 3 years later? And also seeing your presence in similar spaces, like we did the Urban Bush Women together. You know what I mean? Like the intentionality around being and participating in things that only further strengthen your own cause and your own vision, that helps to galvanize people to follow suit. So I just want to say that I can speak from the eye that dedication. So that's when you asked me to be on the board, and I know I can strengthen my presence on the board. But I'm committed because of how you're committed to this work and how it aligns with my own practice. So that's something that I want to just offer before my phone dies. Hey y'all.
Yay.
Oh, and Marysol, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having. It's good to see you. Thank you for being on with only a few percent left. Hanging on by a thread. So, any other questions or comments?
Was it difficult for you to like develop this? I mean, does anybody else have a question before we jump in and ask a question that you may be wanting to ask? Was it difficult? So we're going to take that as a no. So was it difficult to develop the script for yourself?
It wasn't. And I learned how to do this on the go while I was on. So I didn't receive training. Like I said at the very top of this, I didn't get training on this. I just did and learned and watched and observed. As far as the script, it really is introducing. It's pretty much you introducing yourself to a person or an organization. That's what you're doing. This is who we are. This is what we're about. This is how you can be a part of it. And that's it. So it wasn't difficult at all, no. I mean, maybe now in hindsight, I'm saying that because now it's super easy to do that. But when I heard purpose and why am I here, that's what had me even get on with WBAI. Like I had to get really clear on why I was doing it, because I was already at another radio station and my time was your time is only ever 24 hours a day, right? So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna commit a part of my time to this. And what is that gonna look like? So I got first very clear about my purpose. Doing this, what is this about? What need am I meeting? Is this part of my future and what a part of what I'm committed to? And then I said, yeah, it is that. So let me do this. So that I had to put aside that fear about not knowing how to do it. And I did. So being clear on your purpose is super important. You just have to lay it out in the script and introduce yourself, get related to that person, and get them related to what DR Loves Haiti is doing. I've also included some upcoming things. So in the script, you can talk about what you have coming up. And again, what the opportunity is for that person to support you in getting to those goals. Did I answer your question? Okay, we have a few minutes left. Is anything you want to ask, or ladies, or everyone? No? You're on mute still.
So with that in mind, as we're going to be closing out, we would like to close out with gratitude. And so if you can share one word or sentence, but a very brief sentence of what you are grateful for today, we would appreciate that. And of course, we'll start off just so because we'll start off and then we're going to pass it on to somebody else. But we are really and this is going to be a sentence, but Marysol, we are really very grateful for you and your yes and your commitment to who we are and to what we're creating in the world. So we're going to pass it on now to Roland.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Marysol. I learned so much. I was taking a lot of notes. I'm grateful for this organization and thinking about, to be clear in your purpose. And all of that is connecting. Sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But you giving us all this information with Claribel, doing this organization with you all, I know the purpose. Now I'm reminded of that purpose. So I'm grateful for that, for the space that was created to remind me of that. So thank you. Passing it to Tasha.
Thanks. I am grateful for possibilities and what the future holds for this organization and humanity altogether. I mean, I think we're a great group, and I'm also grateful for learning. So as we continue to learn and pick up new skills to strengthen what Clariville has brought into the atmosphere. I'm just excited for what the future holds. And I will pass that on to Kathleen.
Hi, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marysol, for today. I'm grateful for Clariville's leadership, for every member of the board. And I'm just grateful for tools that will, I think, help not only me personally in terms of, like, while you were talking, I was trying to imagine myself like in the ask and like, just how like I could apply some, a lot of what you were saying. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, and I really appreciate what Tasha said about possibilities. That's really resonating with me. And I want to pass it to Marielle. Is she still here?
It's Michelle or Mel. Mariela, we don't use.
Mariela, oh, sorry.
Not here. It's okay.
I'll pass it to Michelle.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Marysol. I'm grateful for a few things. I'm grateful to have met you, and I hope this is not the last time. We'll get a chance to get to know each other more and in person.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm really grateful for you being able to sort of like break it down in a very sort of manageable way. So it's and less daunting because, yeah, I think the approach and what you've shared with us has really made it sort of doable, less. Yeah. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Mel.
Okay, it's me. Yes, thank you, Marysol, so much. I was really soaking everything in that you shared with us. And, I'm grateful for you to join us today and really give us all these wonderful gems because fundraising is easier said than done. And that's something that I'm realizing. It's really, really difficult, but not impossible. And that's what I learned from you today. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for this team. Grateful for Clariville and her leadership. Grateful for all the women on this board because the work that we're doing definitely requires team effort and also the ability to stay positive with all the negativity that's in the world. So, the ability to stay centered and to still be able to radiate positivity, even in the face of negativity. I'm grateful for that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so it's me, I believe. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time. You got a bonus hour today, and you spent it on us being together. So I really, really appreciate that. And what I'm grateful for is the magic of a conversation and how one conversation can connect you and can clear the fog and could inspire you and give you positivity. And all those are all the things that I got from being with you today. And I look forward to the future and the next time, how I can support DR Loves Haiti, support you ladies, and be able to provide a space so that we could create together. I know that was like 3 sentences, but it's okay.
It's perfect.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much, Marysol, and everyone who's here, of course, and everyone who's not here as well. So thank you. We went a little bit over, but thank you for your time and your energy and everyone who's here. So
great. Claribel, I'm gonna email you the notes now and then you can share them at will, okay?
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
And we'll be talking later. We'll be talking soon.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you again, Marysol.
All right. You're welcome.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.